and welcome to Mrs. Patnell's literacy lesson. We are looking at our book, a factual book that has facts in it. So it's a non-fiction book. It's not from someone's imagination, like a fiction book. It's real facts. So it is a non-fiction book, okay? So it's not from imagination, it's real, true things that are absolutely true, okay? Now that book was, this week, Good Enough to Eat. There it is. So I'm going to read you a bit more from this book in a moment. I just want to talk to you about the last lesson because I'm just going to straighten this camera as well. It's probably driving you guys crazy too. So we had a look at this in the last lesson. I put it onto Google Classroom for you, and you had to sort the food by popping it into the right space on the healthy eating plate here, okay? Now this worked really well in class. We managed to work most of the things out and put them in the right place. Some things were a little bit tricky, particularly we found this protein area, the pink area, had some tricky items in it. But on the whole, we got things quite right in the right places. Hopefully you found your favourite food and you could tell adults where that would go on the healthy food plate, which group, which section it belonged to, will be the big sections or the smaller ones. So hopefully that went well yesterday. We are going to look back at our non-fiction book, Good Enough to Eat, and I'm going to read to you a bit more from it. I think maybe that light's a bit strong. 1 second. I'm going to turn the light down a bit because it's really shining on the book. It's a bit dull now, but hopefully a little less shiny on the pages of the book, okay? So I'm going to carry on from the page we stopped at the other day. We had got as far as our nutrients page. We had found out that when we're really hungry, we can get cranky. And cranky is a bit like when you're tired or grumpy, and that your stomach can grumble. But then just by eating some food can stop all of your crankiness and all of your grumbly tummy. We also learned that food can help you think and grow and fight off germs, keep you cool, heal broken bones. So eating the right food can do all of those amazing things. It's kind of almost magical. And then we got to our nutrients page where we had lots of facts about different nutrients. We spoke about carbohydrates, which was that big yellow section as well on your healthy plate. We spoke about protein, mending and building muscles. We spoke about fat, how it can make food taste nicer, and it can give you energy, but too much is probably not a good idea. We spoke about water and how important it is to have water and how your body is made up of so much water, and vitamins and minerals that make you feel well and keep you healthy and fight off germs. So I'm going to carry on from here. I think I'm going to come round to the camera because I'm not sure that you can see the book overly well. So I'm going to pop myself on the table here and bring the book a little nearer so you can have a good look at those pages. Some very nice drawings in Good Enough to Eat. So I'm going to carry on reading to you now, and we've got a new word to look at, which is digestion. Okay, digestion. Let's find out what digestion means. So digestion is the way food is broken down so that nutrients can be absorbed into your body. Now, absorb is a bit like when a sponge is put into the bath and drinks up lots of water and becomes really heavy. That's absorbing. So this is talking about good food, good nutrients that was on our list on Monday. How does it get absorbed, soaked into the body like a sponge with water? And this process is called digestion. It has to break the food down first in order to soak it up and absorb it into the body, okay? So, for healthy digestion, you should eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods supply fibre. Fibre does not get absorbed during digestion. It helps carry bad chemicals and excess fats out of your body. Wow, that's pretty a lot of information there in one box, isn't it? So fruits and vegetables, I picked up from that it's really good to help digestion by eating lots of fruits and vegetables. Also, whole grains supply fibre. And fibre doesn't get absorbed like it's talking about, soaking up like a sponge, but it helps to get rid of the bad chemicals, the bits you don't want, and get them out of your body really quickly. So fibre is very important as well, okay? So as I continue to read the book today, I want you to listen really well and see if you can pick out a particular fact that really interests you and that sticks in your memory, because at the end of this video I want you to turn it off and tell an adult in the room your fact that you picked up on. So today's lesson, our real objective is to be able to listen to a non-fiction book and pull out a fact that is absolutely true and be able to say it to somebody else. Okay, so that's what we're looking at doing. So then we've just spoken about digestion and how fruits and vegetables are really important for good digestion, and that fibre helps to get rid of bad chemicals out of your body. Now we're going to move on to this blue page here. It says, when you digest food, your mouth here, we've got some labels here telling us what everything does. Your mouth grinds food and mixes it with saliva. What is saliva? Another word that we have not heard before. Saliva. Well, that is a bit like your spit in your mouth, okay? That is your saliva. So your mouth grinds the food down and then mixes it with the spit inside your mouth. So it's a very important job, because if you didn't grind down food and you was eating big chunks of, let's say, a biscuit, then it would go down whole, and that can't happen for good digestion or even to be able to swallow it. So your mouth grinds it up, mixes it up with nice moist saliva. Next we have, going down the body here, this long pipe which you can't see through your skin and your bones, but there's a big pipe that goes down from your mouth in your body, and this is called the esophagus. It pushes food down to your stomach. So its job is to take it from your mouth, this is your esophagus, and the long pipe pushes it down into your stomach. So that's the esophagus. It's like a pushing motion down towards your stomach. Next, it arrives at your stomach. Look at your stomach. That's what it looks like underneath all the skin and muscles and bones. That's your stomach. It says your stomach churns food and mixes it with acids. It turns food into a thick liquid. Oh, there's a fact and a half, isn't it? So it's come down the tube that is the esophagus, landed in your stomach, and your stomach takes the chewed up stuff but mixes it with special acids in your belly, okay, so good acids, and turns food into a liquid. So those biscuits you might have eaten, or that banana, or those raisins, it turns it into a liquid, like water is a liquid, okay? So a runny substance in your stomach. How clever that stomach is. Then it goes to your small intestine. Now look at your small intestine. That's going on in your body. Isn't it amazingly clever? All that green kind of tubes going on there. The small intestine absorbs nutrients from your food through its spongy lining. So there's spongy again, it's like a sponge. Nutrients enter the bloodstream. So it takes the nutrients out of your liquid bit in your stomach, takes the good stuff out, the good nutrients, and brings it into your blood where you want the nutrients to be. This is amazing, isn't it? So from your stomach, it turns to a liquid. To the small intestine, it takes out the good stuff, puts it into your blood. Then the large intestine, now this is the yellow bit going around the outside of the green lower small intestine, a bit like a picture frame here, it goes all around the edge. Okay? Now that large intestine absorbs water and leads unused parts of food out of your body. So the bits that your body doesn't want, it says, no, I don't want that bit, it's not full of nutrients, get rid of that. Then the large intestine gets rid of it out of your body. It says, cheerio, we don't want you anymore. So when you go to the toilet, it will come out because you don't want it anymore. You've taken all the good stuff out of it, you're getting rid of the stuff you don't want, and that job is done by the large intestine, okay? So there's lots of new words there. Mouth, we know, doing its grinding. Esophagus, pushing it down to the stomach. Your stomach churns it up and turns it to a liquid. Your small intestine absorbs all the good stuff and then puts it into your blood. And your large intestine gets rid of the stuff you don't want, the bit you don't like, and it gets rid of it and chucks it down the toilet, okay? Right, let's whiz on to our next page. Okay, so I've flipped over my page now. We've gone from our picture all about digestion, and we're turning over to this page here. So I'm going to read this one to you now. Remember, you're looking out for a fact, something that's absolutely true, that you picked out that I'm reading, and you're going to tell it to an adult afterwards. As soon as food is digested, nutrients, that good stuff that we listed on Monday, start to work. They start to do their job after they've been digested. Carbohydrates, protein and fat get turned into energy. That's that energy we spoke about. The amount of energy they supply is measured in calories. You possibly have heard of calories before. You use a lot of energy to run and play. This is true. You also use energy to stay warm, pump blood, breathe, think, heal and grow. Okay, so it's not just energy like jogging on the spot or skipping or riding your bike. You use energy just by thinking. So when you're thinking of your fact sentence to say at the end of this video, you will be using energy. Just by pumping your blood around your body, that's happening all the time, that uses energy. Okay, so that's quite interesting, isn't it? Carbohydrates should supply most of the energy your body uses. You can detect carbohydrates in food just by taste. Really? Foods that taste starchy or sweet contain carbohydrates. That's quite a clue. So if you're eating something and you think this tastes very sweet, okay, like maybe cakes, or biscuits, then that's a test to know that they contain carbohydrates. It says starchy foods give long-lasting energy. So that means it will take you for ages to burn up that energy. So if you've eaten something that's got carbohydrates in, it will take a while to burn off. You have lots of energy for a long time. So lots of thinking, lots of running, lots of blood pumping before you run out of energy. Now, we're moving on here, though, to sweet foods, okay? So it says, sweet foods give quick boosts of energy. So those things that taste super sweet, okay? So we've got things here. She's got like, she's got some milk, okay? And imagine she's got some cake. Yes, she has. And, an actual pot of sugar. It says the energy from very sweet foods is used up very quickly, okay? So you might eat yourself a chocolate bar or cake or some biscuits, and you will have energy, and you might even feel it. You suddenly feel full of energy, like you could do lots of things, okay? But it doesn't last very long. It burns away very quickly. So it's best not to try and get your carbohydrates from very sweet things like cakes and biscuits and full fat fizzy drinks, because it won't last very long. It will be gone quickly. But if you eat things like potatoes and cereals and pasta, then your energy will last longer. So there's two different types of carbohydrate kind of energy that you get given. Now, she's saying up here, if you ate candy for breakfast, now this is an American book, so candy is a bit of an American word. So sweets is what she means. If you ate sweets for breakfast, soon you would feel tired and hungry. A breakfast of whole grain cereal would keep you going till lunch. What a handy fact to know. So if I was to eat biscuits for my breakfast, I might feel full of energy, but about 5 minutes later, it has gone. No more energy. But if I eat a whole grain cereal for breakfast, so maybe if I had like Weetabix or something like that, maybe some porridge would be nice for breakfast, my energy will last ages, possibly all morning until I next eat again at lunchtime. So that would be a much better way to get my energy. I'm just going to head on to this page. We're nearly done. We're just going to read now about protein. So still be thinking of a favourite fact for you to tell your adults. Protein supplies energy. It also builds and repairs your muscles, skin, brain and blood. Oh, how amazing. It repairs it if it's ever damaged. and your bones and your internal organs, those bits we looked at earlier on. You get protein when you eat animal foods such as fish, meat, eggs, milk and cheese. So if you want to mend your muscles or build muscles, okay, and also giving you a bit of energy, then meat, eggs, milk and cheese are fantastic ways to get your protein. It says you also get protein from plants. The parts of a plant that can sprout and grow, such as seeds, dry beans and peas, nuts and grains, are good sources of protein. So nuts are fantastic. I spoke to my class today and they don't eat a lot of nuts, but a little handful of nuts is excellent for some energy and to help you build muscles and to repair your muscles. Okay, last page now, we're talking about fat now, okay? Now this page is particularly important because one, you might pull a fact out of it to tell an adult, but also this contains your science lesson this week, all right? So have a listen to this. Just as an old-fashioned lantern burns oil, I don't know if you'd ever seen a lantern before, but you could certainly Google one and find an image. You burn fat for heat and energy. Fat also helps make food taste good, but it is easy to eat too much fat. Fat has more calories than the other parts of food. If you eat more calories than you need, the unused calories are turned into body fat. Eating too many fatty foods can make you heavy. So, eating too much fatty foods can make you heavy. Nice fact. Fat is in vegetable oil, so you might do your cooking, maybe frying an egg in that. Butter and cream. You can also see fat in the white and yellow parts of uncooked meat and chicken. This is true. If you look at a piece of bacon before it's been cooked, you can clearly see the white fat around the edge of it. So if you've got any bacon in the fridge, have a look and see if you can spot that white fat around the edge. Could be white or yellow. Often you cannot see the fat you are eating. To find out where fat is hiding, get a large piece of paper, a pencil, and samples of foods. So maybe you could do this tonight with your dinner, okay? And this will be your science lesson for tomorrow, okay? So let's see what this little chap is telling us to do. He says, rub a bit of each food onto your paper, okay? So you can have a piece of white paper in front of you and you can take a little piece of everything in your dinner, just a small piece, and rub it onto a piece of paper in front of you. Now we're going to find out if they're full of fat or not, the things that you have for your dinner. So if you've got maybe chicken for dinner, a little piece of that. If you've got vegetables, a little piece of that. If you've got potato, maybe give the potato a little rub, okay? He says, label the spots as you go. Now this means when you've rubbed the chicken, you need to write next to that with a little line pointing to it that that's the chicken, so you don't forget. Because if you don't do that, you won't know which ones had the fat in. So label each spot. So if you rubbed a roast potato on a piece of paper, you need to put potato and a little label next to it. So you remember that's the blob from the potato. Then it says, let the spots dry overnight. So you're going to have to look at this tomorrow. Then hold your paper up to the light. The light will glow through the spots made by foods containing fat. That is so interesting, isn't it? So you've rubbed all your items, a little piece of everything you're eating for dinner, labelled each spot so you know which blob belongs to which food, let it dry overnight, and then in the morning lift it up to the window he's lifting his to so the natural light can come through the paper, and the ones that have left, and you'll see it if there's some fat in it, the greasy looking blobs, you know there's a lot more fat in that food. And while you can eat some fat, remember, because in our list of nutrients we needed some fat, you don't want too much because then you start to get heavy, okay? So if you eat it and you don't burn it off, all the bit extra that you're not using up by burning it off starts to turn into fat on your body and makes you a bit heavier, okay? So fat is important, but not too much fat. So have a little test of your dinner tonight and see which items the next day have the most fat in, okay? So I've read a lot to you there, I know. It's because I want to get through the book by the end of the week. So a lot of facts I've given you there. If you want to go back and rewind the video a bit and listen to certain bits just to pull out one fact that you want, that is a fabulous idea. Maybe you're sitting here now thinking, I know my fact, I know my fact. So I'm going to stop talking to you now to give you a chance to end the video and then tell an adult in the room your fact, okay? And then maybe if you think of more than one, tell them lots of facts. But as I say, the point of this is to be able to listen, pull out facts that are absolutely true and be able to say it back to somebody else. As the week goes on, I'm going to read to you about extra nutrients and you've got to think about facts for those. And then we're going to end up writing our own fact in a sentence by the end of the week. All right then, guys, I will see you again tomorrow. Tell your adults your facts now and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.